Have you ever noticed how your mind jumps away the moment you try to focus? You finally sit down to do something important, something you actually care about, and within seconds you're reaching for your phone, refreshing notifications, scrolling without even realizing your fingers moved. It's almost like your own brain refuses to let you stay with one thought long enough to finish it. You want to concentrate. You want to be present. But attention feels like sand, slipping through your hands the moment you try to hold it. You know you're capable of more, but something invisible keeps pulling your mind apart, piece by piece. We live in a world where distraction isn't an accident anymore. It's the product. Every app, every sound, every flash of movement is designed to steal a tiny slice of your awareness. You didn't choose to become this restless. Your brain simply adapted to what was rewarded. Short bursts of dopamine, constant stimulation, instant escape from even the smallest moment of discomfort. And now silence feels threatening. Stillness feels unbearable. Focus feels like trying to breathe underwater. Sometimes you think back to when you were younger, when you could read a book for hours, when your imagination was stronger than any screen. Your mind felt like a place you could explore, not a battlefield you're constantly trying to control. But now? The moment life gets boring, your hand twitches toward distraction. When a task gets difficult, your brain screams for a different hit of excitement. The more you try to focus, the more restless you become. But what if the problem isn't your willpower or discipline? What if your brain has learned that attention is unsafe? What if focus feels like vulnerability? Because when you stay with one thing long enough, uncomfortable thoughts start surfacing. Self-doubt, pressure, expectation, fear of failing at the very thing you care about most. Distraction becomes protection. Your brain has learned to avoid emotional risk. If you never give something your full effort, you never have to face the possibility that your best might not be good enough. If you never stay still long enough to hear your own thoughts, you never have to confront what they might say. Every swipe, every jump to the next tab, every tiny interruption becomes a shield that keeps the deeper fears out of reach. You tell yourself that you'll try again later. After one more scroll, one more video, one more little break to clear your mind. But your mind doesn't clear, it fragments. And those fragments pile up until you feel constantly overwhelmed, constantly behind, constantly guilty for the time you lose without meaning to. You aren't choosing distraction. You're drowning in it. And the more distracted you become, the more you lose something you didn't even know could disappear, your sense of self. When nothing holds your focus long enough to create memory, life starts to feel like one long loop of noise. You wake up one day and realize you don't even know what you want anymore, because you can't hear your own desires beneath the constant mental static. But this is where it gets interesting. Your brain isn't broken, it's overwhelmed. It was designed for survival, not stimulation. And right now, it's drowning in more information per day than your ancestors faced in a lifetime. That type of flood forces your nervous system into constant alert mode. Every notification feels urgent, every distraction feels like a threat to ignore, every moment of stillness feels like danger approaching. No wonder focus feels impossible. Your brain is stuck scanning for the next hit, the next update, the next micro-crisis to solve. And beneath that urgency lies something deeper, fear of being left behind. We don't just check our phones for entertainment anymore. We check to make sure we still exist in other people's eyes, to make sure we're not missing something important, to make sure we matter. Distraction becomes a way to belong, a way to feel alive, a way to avoid the loneliness that shows up when we're alone with ourselves. But here's something you may not have realized. Attention is a form of love. What you give your focus to becomes part of you. When your attention is stolen, so is your ability to grow, to connect, to create a life that feels meaningful. Every moment of focus you win back is a piece of yourself returning home. You don't have to fix everything overnight. Attention is a muscle that can remember its strength. You start by noticing the moments when your mind tries to escape. You pause before reacting. You breathe through the urge to run away from your own thoughts. You choose one thing, just one, and stay with it long enough to feel uncomfortable, and then push a little past that. Focus isn't about forcing your brain into silence. It's about learning to sit peacefully with what shows up. It's about realizing that your thoughts are not threats. Your boredom is not danger. Your challenges are not proof that you're failing. They're invitations to grow. Your mind wants your attention back. It wants to rebuild that inner world you used to explore without fear. It wants to remember what it feels like to care deeply about something and to stay with that feeling long enough to see it come to life. Maybe it feels hard. Maybe it feels messy. Maybe your attention slips through your fingers again and again. That's okay. Progress doesn't come from perfection. It comes from returning. One moment, one choice, one breath at a time. By choosing focus, you're choosing yourself. You're choosing to build a life that isn't controlled by notifications, impulses, or fear. You're choosing presence over panic, depth over noise, meaning over dopamine. And when your mind starts to slow down, when you remember what stillness feels like, when you finally hear your own thoughts instead of everything drowning them out, that is when you will feel it. That quiet strength inside you. The part of you that was never lost, just waiting for your attention. Here is the truth. Every moment you reclaim your focus is a moment you reclaim your life. The world will always try to pull your attention away, but you're allowed to choose what matters. You're allowed to invest in what you love. You're allowed to be present in your own story again. And when you do, you'll realize something powerful. Your mind was never the enemy. It was always the key.